it was quite overwhelming really, because we'd lived in Canberra before but we hadn't been here for a few years, and so we didn't really know the areas that well anymore. But it was also really exciting. I think my husband and I really enjoyed going to kind of open homes and learning a bit about the real estate market and getting to see different features of different houses and that sort of thing, and start to kind of imagine what we might be after in our home. Knowing what the prices were like in the market, so kind of knowing what we might be able to afford, what houses we're going to go for, and also I guess the competition, you know. We did a little bit of research just on Google to start with, and we had a bit of a look on Reddit as well. There was an article, I can't remember if it was maybe Canberra or somewhere, but they were sort of recommending some different buyers agents in Canberra, and we came across Penny and Ian's website, and yeah, we were really attracted to just sort of the friendly nature that came across in the way that they described their services. We liked the fact as well that they specifically advertised a product for first home buyers, because I guess in our experience we kind of had the assumption that a buyer's agent would be something that was probably out of our budget as first home buyers, but we were really pleased when we met with Penny and Ian and learned that they had a product that was kind of more in our range and that would really enable us to be able to access that service to get into the market. We had an amazing experience working with Penny and Ian, and definitely couldn't be happier with our decision to go with them. I think right from the beginning, when we had that first chat with them over Zoom online, they were just so friendly and approachable. They were really patient with us along the way as well, and they really sort of stepped us through the process, and there was no pressure from the beginning to go with them. They kind of listened to us and let us take the time to decide whether we wanted to go ahead or not. And yeah, you know, once we decided to work with them, it again was just kind of seamless the whole way through. They were really proactive in sharing lots of different property suggestions with us. They helped educate us, I guess, as well on what we should be looking for in houses, and kind of what features would be good for resale value as well, knowing that, you know, maybe this is our first home and we might look to buy another home in the future. And I think the things that we've appreciated the most and that have really stood out for us were both the approachability and friendliness of Penny and Ian, you know, making them, they made us feel really comfortable, and like no question was a silly question. And then the other thing that really stood out was the negotiation skills. I think both Penny and Ian, whilst we didn't see them in action, we know that some pretty amazing negotiating happened behind the scenes for us to secure this beautiful home, and we're really grateful for that, because I think that my husband and I both would have struggled to do that ourselves, so we're really grateful. So we were really excited the day that we found out that our offer on this house was accepted, but there was a very small part of us that was a little bit disappointed that that would then mean the end of kind of getting to work with Penny and Ian, although they did help us throughout the settlement process as well, and we stayed in touch with them afterwards. But yeah, there was like that tiny bit of disappointment that we couldn't keep the process going of kind of looking at different houses, and the excitement of getting emails to sort of see what was on the market and what we could go check out with them. So yeah. One of the things that was really cool about working with Penny and Ian was that they used this platform called Betty, which was not something we'd come across, but basically it was like a platform for advertising houses. I think when they first described it to us, they sold it as like a Netflix for houses, which was kind of cool. And so what they would do is they would upload different houses onto that platform that they'd pulled from different real estate listings, so that we could then have a look at them. It had all the information and kind of a description of the houses, as well as kind of their recommendations as well. So there was an option for them to leave feedback about whether it was one that they would recommend for us and why, and then we could provide that same feedback to them as well. So kind of rating whether it was one that we liked, whether it was one that we really liked, or whether it was one that we weren't interested in. So it was just another kind of communication tool that made the process quite seamless. Yeah, we were incredibly relieved to not have to go through the negotiating process, that's for sure. I think my husband and I would have found that really tricky. We, met lots of really lovely real estate agents along the way and enjoyed getting to meet them while we were looking at properties, but it's certainly hard to kind of have the confidence sometimes to push back when, this is what they do for a business. So we were really grateful to have experts on our side as well in Penny and Ian to handle that part of the process for us. I would absolutely recommend the process. I think we haven't looked back at all since we engaged Penny and Ian, and we're really grateful for their time and help, and we would definitely go through the process again if we were buying another property. Yeah, we would absolutely recommend it. I think as first home buyers ourselves, we found it a really helpful process to have them on our side to support and to educate us. I think they provided a lot of sort of reassurance throughout the process and really helped us to understand what we were looking for in a property. And as first home buyers, you're going in kind of with a blank slate. You don't necessarily know much about the market and what you're after in a home. So yeah, we would definitely recommend it to other first home buyers.